Okay, I'm doing my test of sailing GPU, and sounds like the background is a little too high, so I'm gonna tune that down. No, I think for this test I'm gonna let it go and see what kind of effect it has. It's showing up on my audio meter, but it looks like I'm substantially above that, um, at least so far. So this is the intro to sailing GPU, and the GPU stands for good, bad, and ugly. They bought this boat years ago. I think he said he paid $5,000 for it, and they spent maybe a year fixing it up, living on it to some extent, I think, while they were doing that. We've actually watched it since the beginning, or rather, when we came into it, we went back and watched all the episodes, so we haven't missed any episodes in the several years that they've been online now. I think they probably have been here at least 3 years. The guy on the left is Matt, and her name I think is Kirsten or Kristen, could one or the other. And she just displayed it on screen. So they've also got an Instagram as well as two Instagrams actually, as well as a Patreon account. My wife and I do contribute to the Patreon account, and I hope that helps them. We're not giving them much money because we're retired and don't have a lot to give, right? What's going on in this episode? They've been uh, at a marina in Puerto Rico. They were starting to have a lot of problems with their boats, and I think they're starting to get a little bit of money from Patreon and YouTube now. And so they decided this was a good time to make some repairs to their boat. So they've pretty much gutted the interior of the boat, at least the paneling and the cabinets and that type of stuff. And he's even yanked his motor out and has a new motor out, although I don't think it's actually been installed yet, but he's got it. Things take a long time in Puerto Rico because it has to come in from the United States, but it's still better than Central America since Puerto Rico is a protectorate of the United States, and so they do get shipments there faster and easier than they do when they were over in the Panama area. They were not in Panama, but they were in that general vicinity. It was funny when they first started the whole series. One of their first sails, they were heading over to Bahamas, but the wind was working against them and they gave up. And without realizing it, they ended up in Cuban waters and were met by Cuban gunship. So that was kind of funny. Now what he's doing here, he's testing for a water leak, trying to determine where he thinks that it's that penetration there, where his shroud is secured to the chainfall. So now she's finding and signaling to him that she knows where the leak is coming from. So it wasn't where he thought, it was coming out somewhere else. So he's going to he's saying that the shroud he tightened it up, and that maybe broke some of the not insulation, but some of the waterproofing that he had put on, sealed it with silicone. And that silicone doesn't actually move a whole lot. It's not flexible. So when it moved, he thinks that damaged it and caused the leak. I know for when I was making some repairs or installations of new equipment, rather, on my travel trailer, that I researched and I'd planned on using RTV, and it said, no, don't do that. It sets up brittle. You need to get something that will stay flexible. So apparently he's found that out. I don't know what he's going to ultimately do to fix this so that he doesn't have the problem all over again. Been watching the market a little bit as we're watching this video, and it's not acting like I expected it to. with respect to the Fed's making a 75 basis point increase, and uh, I guess that's the intraday rate. I'm not sure, but overall things have really slammed up. Um, I had some options on there. They were at the money when I bought them, slightly in, and since that time it's dropped to about one, two, three, four, five. I'm saying the value dropped five. The actual dollar increase, because I had puts, the dollar increase was about $5. So I see that the video's over, so I'm gonna stop recording.